Temples dedicated to Brahma. Despite his fundamental role in Hindu cosmology, Brahma remains a relatively little-worshipped deity across India, compared to Vishnu and Shiva. Nevertheless, there are a few temples dedicated to Brahma, the most famous of which is located in Pushkar, a small town in the state of Rajasthan in northwestern India. This temple is one of the few shrines in the world to exclusively honor Brahma, and it attracts thousands of pilgrims and tourists every year. The Pushkar Temple, a unique place. The Pushkar Temple is an essential sacred destination for those wishing to pay homage to Brahma. According to local legend, this temple is associated with a key mythological event, the descent of a sacred lotus into the waters of Pushkar Lake. This lotus is said to have enabled Brahma to create the universe and initiate the cycle of life. This mythological story makes Pushkar a place of great religious significance, even though Brahma is rarely worshipped elsewhere. The Pushkar Temple is particularly unique because it is one of the few places where a specific devotion to Brahma can be observed. Indeed, the majority of Hindu temples are dedicated to Vishnu or Shiva, whose roles in the preservation and destruction of the universe are considered more directly related to everyday human experience. But in Pushkar, Brahma is honored as the creator of the universe, which gives the temple a special spiritual dimension. This sanctuary represents not only a place of worship, but also a point of connection for devotees seeking to honor Brahma's creative and cosmic wisdom. Rituals of creation and divine wisdom. The rituals practiced in the Pushkar temple have a strong symbolic dimension. Indeed, they are closely linked to the creation of the universe and the transmission of divine wisdom. For example, prayers and offerings are regularly made to invoke Brahma's blessing to foster creation in the personal lives of devotees, whether in the material or spiritual realm. The temple is also a place where devotees can meditate on the cycles of creation and time, and connect with a philosophical and cosmological vision of the universe. Thus, devotion to Brahma in this temple often takes a more contemplative and reflective form than that practiced in temples dedicated to Vishnu or Shiva, which are often associated with more dynamic rituals oriented towards prayers for healing, protection, or more immediate worship. The legend of Pushkar, which links Brahma to divine creation through the lotus, underscores the idea that creation and wisdom are not merely a matter of cosmic forces, but also a process that touches individual lives and human experiences. The temple, through its rituals and symbols, reminds its visitors that everything has a divine origin, and that this origin lies in the purity and knowledge emanating from Brahma. Other temples dedicated to Brahma. While the Pushkar temple is the most famous, there are several other small temples dedicated to Brahma in other parts of India. These temples are relatively rare, however, and much less well known to the general public. For example, there are temples dedicated to Brahma in places like Kumhalgarh and Jamba, but their number remains very limited compared to those dedicated to Vishnu and Shiva, whose worship is much more widespread and diverse throughout the country. In these lesser-known temples, the rituals are generally more understated and centered on a philosophical and cosmological approach rather than personal devotion. The prayers and ceremonies are often more subtle, emphasizing an intellectual understanding of divine creation and the cosmic order, rather than specific requests for help or blessings. The rarity of cults dedicated to Brahma. This scarcity of temples dedicated to Brahma is largely explained by his cosmic role. Once creation is complete, Brahma no longer intervenes in the daily cycle of the universe. Unlike Vishnu, who is invoked for preservation, or Shiva, who plays a key role in the destruction and regeneration of the universe, Brahma remains a more abstract figure, associated with an original but distant creative act. This lack of continuous intervention in the earthly world means that Brahma is not perceived as an active deity in the daily lives of devotees, which partly explains his less popular worship. In short, although Brahma is venerated in a few isolated temples, such as the one in Pushkar, his place in the Hindu pantheon remains discrete compared to that of Vishnu and Shiva. His primordial role in creation is not reflected in massive daily devotion, but rather in philosophical reflection and spiritual significance regarding the origins and cycles of the world. The spiritual symbolism of Brahma today. Today, the figure of Brahma, although less directly venerated than Vishnu or Shiva, retains a profound and universal symbolism in the spiritual and philosophical reflection of Hinduism. He represents creation, beginnings, and knowledge, concepts that, far beyond the religious context, touch upon the very essence of life and the universe. While the modern world values information, knowledge, and innovation, Brahma embodies a timeless reminder of the importance of intellect and wisdom for understanding the cosmos and our place within it. In contemporary philosophy, Brahma symbolizes the birth of all things and the origin of existence. His role as creator is closely linked to knowledge and understanding, for he is the one who, according to sacred texts, gave birth to the four Vedas, fundamental sources of wisdom and truth. These teachings continue to influence modern philosophical thought, particularly in the fields of ethics, metaphysics, and spirituality. Brahma, in this sense, is not merely a mythological figure, but a source of intellectual inspiration, urging humanity to seek truth and understand the laws that govern the universe and human existence. Brahma's symbolism transcends mere material creation. He also embodies intellectual and spiritual creation, the emergence of ideas and knowledge that shape civilization. In a world where technology, information, and science dominate daily life, this dimension of Brahma reminds us that intelligence and wisdom are the true creative forces that allow societies to progress. He thus becomes a symbol of the divine intellect, guiding humanity not only toward innovation, but also toward an ethical and philosophical understanding of its actions. In the modern spiritual context, the figure of Brahma also invites reflection on the role of creation and innovation in our societies. His symbolic presence suggests that every creative act, whether scientific, artistic, or social, is rooted in the human capacity to understand and transform the world. Brahma reminds us that creation is not limited to the physical universe, but includes the creation of values, knowledge, and systems of thought. Thus, he becomes a model for those seeking to combine intelligence, wisdom, and action in a complex and ever-changing world. Furthermore, Brahma continues to inspire contemporary philosophical reflections on order and chaos, beginning and end, and how human beings can consciously participate in building a harmonious world. Even though temples dedicated to Brahma are rare and direct devotion to him is limited, his figure occupies an important place in spiritual discussions, philosophical studies, and meditation on the universe and on oneself. He symbolizes the balance between knowledge and creation, between action and contemplation, offering a framework for reflecting on our role in society and in the universe. In short, Brahma remains today an archetype of intellect and creativity, a timeless symbol that transcends religious rites to inspire a profound understanding of existence and universal laws. He reminds us that true creation lies not only in the act of forming matter, but also in the human capacity to think, to learn, to transmit wisdom, and to consciously and enlighteningly shape the world. Even in the absence of mass worship, Brahma's presence in contemporary thought continues to nourish reflection, innovation, and the quest for universal knowledge. Conclusion. What are the essential takeaways? In conclusion, Brahma is an essential and fascinating figure in the Hindu pantheon, representing above all creation, wisdom, and intellect. Although he is less venerated than his counterparts Vishnu and Shiva, and his worship is more discreet, he embodies the beginning of all that exists, the initiator of the cosmic cycle. In the Trimurti, his role as creator is fundamental, laying the foundations of the universe before Vishnu ensures its preservation and Shiva its destruction. Brahma, even if he is more often observed through his symbolic role than through active devotion, remains at the heart of the cosmic order, unaltered and indispensable. What we must remember is that creation and knowledge are intimately linked in the figure of Brahma. He reminds us that understanding the universe lies not only in the visible and tangible aspects of life, but also in the pursuit of wisdom and profound truth, derived from the Vedas, which he bestowed upon humanity. Far from being a secondary or distant deity, Brahma symbolizes the divine intellect, the one who oversees the emergence of order through creation and thought. While Brahma remains less accessible in popular devotion, he is irreplaceable within the grand cosmic cycle. His role as the creator of the universe makes him indispensable, even in the shadows. His place in the Trimurti is central, for without him, the universe would never have come into being, and without his creative act, the world as we know it would not exist. Brahma is therefore not a god who merely observes, but rather a pillar, the one upon which the entire balance of the universe rests. Through contemporary spiritual and philosophical reflection, the figure of Brahma encourages us to consider our own relationship to creation, knowledge, and intellect. In a world where the emphasis is often placed on action and appearances, Brahma invites us to take the time to understand the deep roots of existence. His presence in modern thought shows us that the quest for wisdom and truth is not achieved solely through direct action, but also through introspection, understanding our surroundings, and the continuous search for the profound meaning of life. Ultimately, Brahma is much more than a mere mythological creator. He embodies a philosophy of knowledge, a call to the human intellect to seek and understand the reality of the universe, recognizing that every act of creation, however great or small, is connected to a deeper truth. Its symbolism continues to resonate in our modern world, in philosophical, spiritual, and intellectual discussions, reminding us never to lose sight of the importance of intellect, creation, and wisdom in our lives. Thus, even if Brahma is not often invoked in temples, he remains an inexhaustible source of reflection and inspiration. To fully understand the nature of existence, it is essential to reconnect with this creative force that invites us to contemplate the universe in its depths and to seek eternal truth.